Hi, Sister Ann Laughlin, Beacon of Hope, Women's Outreach, reading my book, Journey to Faith, trying to follow my 5 minutes, so when you hear the beep, you know my 5 minutes is up. Just to let you know now, because I forgot to say it on the last one. God bless. Let's keep going. In 2008, in that same year, a tick bit me, and it was carrying Rocky Mountain spotted fever, which of course it wanted to affect many of my major systems also. I thought I was having a heart attack while having an interview for a state job as an analyst. No, the job was not that scary, but the tick bite affected me that bad, and I did not know I had been bitten by that tick. I was lucky I made it home to have Wes, that's my husband, got me to the hospital, and I spent a week in ICU hooked up to machines to keep me going that week. Keep me alive. It took a man from CDC, that is the Center for Disease Control, to figure out what was wrong with me to get the correct treatment. Back in 2007, again out of chronological order here, I had been bit by a tick that had given me the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, so more hell to come. Per the CDC doctor, RMSF, that's the Rocky Mountain spotted fever, is a tick-borne disease caused by the bacterium Rickettsia rickettsii. Working on my doctorate and still can't pronounce some of these words. Anyway, this organism is a cause of potentially fatal human illness in North and South America and is transmitted to humans by the bite of an infected tick species. Sorry, watching my time because I only have my 5 minutes. Typical symptoms include fever, headache, abdominal pain, vomiting, and muscle pain. A rash may develop, but is often absent in the first few days, and in some patients it never develops. By the way, it never developed on me. The Rocky Mountain spotted fever can be a severe or even fatal illness if not treated in the first few days of symptoms. The initial diagnosis is made based on clinical signs and symptoms and medical history, and can later be confirmed by using specialized laboratory tests. Patients who had a particularly severe infection requiring prolonged hospitalization may have long-term health problems caused by this disease. Rickettsia infects the endothelial cells that line the blood vessels. The damage that occurs in those blood vessels results in a disease process called vasculitis, and bleeding or clotting in the brain or other vital organs may occur. Loss from fluid from damaged vessels can result in loss of circulation to the extremities, and damaged fingers, toes, or even limbs may ultimately need to be amputated. Patients who suffer this kind of severe vasculitis in the first 2 weeks of illness may also be left with permanent long-term health problems, such as profound neurological deficits or damage to internal organs. Those who do not have this kind of vascular damage in the initial stages of the disease typically recover fully within several days to months, and that's per the cdc.gov /RMSF. And I'm sorry that I take so many breaths. I have COPD, so it's very hard sometimes for me to read this out loud and breathe, but at the same time. But bear with me and we'll get through this. The doctors had a hard time diagnosing me for the first week because many of the symptoms were identical to my IBS, my diverticulosis. Basically, its symptoms were so identical to so many other problems, health issues I already had. It made it very difficult for the doctors to figure out what was really wrong. And that's why CDC was called in. Living in Missouri, Missouri is full of ticks, and I'd like to say they're not here in the wintertime, and a lot of people say they're not. But I got news for them. They are. If you live out in the woods area, you can find them any time of year. And they like to jump, by the way. They could be on a tree or on a grass, and when you walk by, they will jump on you. If not on you directly, on your clothing, and they will climb. I'll be back.